CROM update number 57. I'm going to check. Yes, it is 57 with David Molina, which is his 9th episode. David, welcome to 2025. How are you doing today?
What's up, Kurt? Doing good. Awesome to be back on your podcast. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
talk about this.
we were just talking about how the holidays could just come in and take you away, and then all of a sudden
Yeah,
you end up on the other side of January going, all right, where did I leave off? What is it? What's going on? So you had sent me this morning page one pencil, and you were just saying right before I hit the record button, you have pages 2 and 3. So I'll be looking forward to getting those scans from you. But today, I just want to take some time and check in with you because we are working on the Last Dryad, which is a there it is. It's a pulp story, a short story from the 1960s by a guy by the name of Joseph Kellum. And you and I have just been hammering at this thing. It's changed itself a couple of times. The last episode, we got to 12-page expansion.
yeah.
So I made a call. This is a load of no stress. I want to get something in for the CROM Anthology number 1. You're definitely zeroed in and getting me the pencil pages because then I take off from the pencil pages to get us at least 6 pages and then a title page, which we're going to take a look at some sketches that you sent going there. How are you feeling so far with the first 6 pages as you're penciling through?
Well, okay, so since I had never done this before, so taking like smaller thumbnails and redrawing them, right?
Yeah.
And it's a whole, like, it's a matter. Okay, let's say with the first panel up here. This is page 3, by the way.
Okay.
But the panel up here, the first one, that was a little easier to translate, from the thumbnail. But once you get to the figures, eyeballing everything, it's a little difficult. Trying to translate the from the original sketches to the final. It's a little bit more. They're bigger panels, obviously. Trying to eyeball that is the poses might come out different. Yes. I guess the other way to do it would be I would blow up the thumbnails to whatever size I'm working on. But that takes time, and I didn't want to fucking do that this time around. But yeah, I guess that's another way to do it, right? Or no, there's multiple different ways. But yeah, I mean, it's I'm never entirely happy with the pages or a drawing. I think that goes with a lot of people. But I do like what we have on the pages right now. And there's always something in the back of your mind says, "Oh man, you know what? I can let me redo the whole page. I think I could do something better." But it's like, okay, I'm not gonna get anything done.
Well, like I tell people, save that for the next round. And next round being not only like the next 6 pages of this story, but the next story you do, no matter what it is. I love that aspect of it. I love the critical breakdown that we as human beings can do and others can give us in the way of feedback, as long as it's critical, and critical being like intelligent. In other words, the person themselves has feedback instead of the old like, I don't understand, or that's stupid. Like that's not critical in what I'm talking about. But it's like, I'll do something, I'll have a whole story done. I mean, let me just grab it here. I mean, I was just talking to Jason Schoonover yesterday about this, is like, I'm dying to read, not to work over the top of these pages, which is the second time I worked over the top of these
Yeah.
pages. And, we got artsy fartsy about it, and it kind of went down the road. I'm not going to do that to the original pages. But the brain in an intense wanting to learn, if you keep it focused on exactly that, not right, like, oh, this is right, this is wrong, and who's saying this is right and this is wrong. It's just your that presence you want on the paper. In other words, you want to tell a story. That's what comic books is. It's not, you can't never escape that part of it. But at the same time, you also have to take your skills into consideration and how many times you've done this, as a comic book artist or functioning as a comic book artist. And let's just give everybody a heads up once again. This is literally David's first comic book project. Like right now, like I said, it's 12 pages, and I believe that is concluding the title page. So I don't know. I mean, I can already hear a couple people on the other side of the video going, "Oh my God, his first time? Where the hell has he been all this time? Why hasn't he done anything else? I mean, if I could draw this good, you know what I mean." So be prepared. Be prepared for that, David. But is there anything like with page 3 here? Is there anything that has you like, brain screaming, like you're just like,
like something negative that I don't like,
or frustrated? You know what I mean? Like you thought you were going to get it to be like this, and you feel like it's not being like that.
Yeah. Maybe this guy's pose up here. I was having trouble last night. Making it seem like he's actually walking. So.
Good point. Good point. Yeah. So Clob Hair, and Weasel here.
Yeah. So they're supposed to be walking up a little hill, right? And then there's an entrance back there they just came out of. And I didn't want to reference it with an actual, using photography as a reference.
Sure.
That whole thing where it takes a million years to find an actual pose. So I might have to go back and actually draw him so it can seem like he's walking.
But now, are you talking about Clob Hair? Are you talking about Clob Hair? All right. Yeah. So I tell you right now, the fix is this. So the problem really is in these two figures in the leg positions you have them identically.
Yeah.
Creates no animation. So you can actually cause them to look like they're working by having like step forward and then like, let's say, here's Clob Hair's leg here. And then, just like that easy, this is an old school trope where you just do this X thing where the front leg's coming in front of that. But now what it's done is it's created an animation. So the visual animation is it's two figures, and nobody's going to know who the hell these two are right now. I mean, no, excuse me. They will because of this is page 3. But at the same time, the visual itself, as they're moving through, they're not particularly worried about the characters themselves in the identity of, these two. It's going to be immediately like, oh, it's two people walking.
Yeah.
Because that visual effect has caused people to make that decision in their brain.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
So, and then the thing would be is to then move this arm a little bit more forward and then this arm a little bit more backwards, because then it's going to look like he's doing the old John Wayne thing. You know, like this,
Yeah.
hey
Swinging
there,
his arms.
everybody, sashay, and like so that it's that big kind of
Right.
strong, and he's a big guy, so
Yeah.
that's how that
Big do.
is.
Other than that, let's see. I wish I could have gotten her face more like the one in the sketch, but that's fine.
You
I
talking
like the
about
one in
this
the
face
sketch.
here?
Oh, the chick's face, yeah, down there. What's her name?
So the thing is like, did you light box this?
No,
Did you just take this and put this you didn't do that?
no. I eyeballed it. I copied it basically.
I would say for the next 3 pages,
Mm.
light box it.
Light box it.
So how this is the sketch, like, right? This is 11 by
Yeah.
17. No, is
No,
this
no,
11 by? No. It's 8.5 by
no.
11 because you put them side by side.
Yeah, that's 8.5 by
Well,
11
you
side by
have,
side, but that's one single sheet though, so it's
yeah,
way
this is 11 by
smaller.
17.
No, that is a regular size copy paper.
This is 8.5 by 11.
Yeah, that's 8.5 by 11, the whole sheet.
Oh wow! So
So it's
then
really
this
small.
is, oh, cool. That's even better. Because your printer,
Mhm.
this is totally where it comes in handy. Other than if you need my assistance, like with a Photoshop type of thing, I could bang these up to 11 by 17,
Dude, that
and
would
then
be perfect
you can
because
print them up.
yeah, let's do that way because I'm retarded. It's gonna take me a
It's no
fucking
worries,
long ass
no
time
worries,
to figure
no
it out.
worries. That's also part of my responsibility here. Great. I am going to write that down.
Awesome.
So I'm going to get you. I have, because once again, everybody, we have the first 6 pages. That's 4, and then 5, 6. So I am totally down for that. That is going to be, that'll be
Cool.
it. So I'll do send David. Blow ups 11 17 pages 4 through 6. Cool. Boom. Before we get into the good old fashioned talk about title pages and
Yeah.
how we want to go about that, is there anything you have for me in questions? Because, like I said, these first 6 pages, I am totally down with. They're
Yeah.
great. Now that you have some time ahead of you. The time that you do have, I want you to be able to have something in an either easier approach than obviously some sort of layer of frustration moving forward. Anything else?
I think also the Club Hair's pants on the fourth panel. Okay, so there's like these lines, those medieval
Yeah.
pants, right? It has the lines.
Yeah.
Um, it was a little. I guess I would go with the contours of the body, right? To make those lines a little believable, or
Yeah, to be honest with you, I mean, as you're moving forward, the more information you can put,
yeah.
indication in information
Okay.
is always helpful.
Yeah.
But my responsibility as a anchor is sort of to provide that service.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah.
it's
So that's that.
that.
I, just real quick, I guess that was
Yeah,
the actual question, right? The actual
yeah.
question is, does this page serve you as a page that you can ink?
Oh,
Is all the
absolutely.
information there, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. See, that's a
Yeah.
question I should have asked like a long ass time ago.
Well,
That's actually what I'm doing here. Like,
we
I'm
did
providing you
we did we did talk about it. It was because I was super. I still am. I'm enthralled with the first 6 pages already being at the level they're at with these preliminaries. But your reaction, if I remember correctly, was more like, "No, I have more to do. Like, there's more stuff I need to figure out." So, and I believe that's why you jumped from copying them by hand from one page to the next instead of just blow up in Lightbox. And I wish I had said something earlier, because then you'd probably be even all the way through page 12, because you might even find that to be something there. It's just your personality, David, that's triggered by correct and complete and all those little things that has to get out of the gate. I've said this before, this is a low to no stress project. And I also ask the people that I'm collaborating with at whatever level that I've instigated that at to keep in contact with me and express frustration. Whether it's a personal one, like, hey, I just got the flu, I'm going to be down for 2 weeks, or, something like that. Or, hey, I know we said this, but I can't stop thinking about that. What do you think? Or do you know any easier ways to go from here to here? Like faster ways, that type of thing. Because it is one of the reasons I've put this CROM Anthology collaborative project together. Is I have a wealth of experience and information to get people to get a sense of completion in what it is they're working on. So,
all right, cool.
Excuse me. All right. So, with that being said, you sent some nifty little sketches we made, and these are perfect. About the Dryad, where we are still very much literally working off of Joseph Kellam's description of the Dryad from his short pulp story, and now we're in a place where we've got to finalize the visual appearance of the Dryad, and what I'm looking for is your. Give me a second here. One of these days, I'm going to have a huge table room to be working from, so I can spread things out. Yeah, here it is. When David and I chatted about collaborating together, I brought this up. He said, yeah. Immediately, within days, I received this from him, and we were off and running. I still think there's a lot here that can be more finalized than having to be improved upon. But I want to hear where you're coming across in your own kind of like, hey, I'm thinking this or I'm thinking that, or what do you think, kind of like place. So what are you thinking?
Well, I guess I'm still, we're still sketching out the Last Dryad, the visuals for the Dryad. I haven't reread the story, right, the Last Druid, for a few months, and I need to go back and read it again, just to see what else we can pull out. But do they describe the tree as being white?
Yes.
Right. So that's pretty cool. Visually,
it was flesh. It was like a comparison to her flesh. Like, the pulps always love referring to women's skin as alabaster white, marble. You know what I mean? Like, it's always this, artsy little way of going about
poetic.
Poetic. Poetic. Right. So we're talking about trope getting hammered to hell. And then she, because she has breasts, the Dryad, and then is in a primary tree form. It's like a tree with breasts. Has the jewel, which is what these two thieves are after on her sternum. In the cleavage of those two breasts. Those are the only elements that I really think. Now, you and I did agree there was an alien factor to her presence, right? You remember that? Right? So I'm curious that are you having a similar response again to like a character study like this? Alien, more
Yeah,
feminine.
I had forgotten about the alien aspect, but that is I think I sent you one of the sketches. It's more of a alien face than a humanoid face. But with this one, the one you're showing on your screen, I wanted her to have, the whole total black eyes, which I think I
Yep,
wanted to go for a
yep,
creepy type deal, you know.
yep,
Um,
yep.
I guess we can really pull that out with the inks, with the blacks and all that. But kind of like a tribal, what do you call it, alien type deal, because do a lot. She has to do a lot with what do you call it, with the forest, with nature, right?
Yep.
Um, so it's kind of trying to pull something out of there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna continue doing a few more sketches and try different faces. Um,
I
but
would
okay, so
suggest. Go
mm,
ahead. Go. Do it.
uh, I was gonna ask, like, how tall do you think the dryad is compared to, let's say, cloud hair or Doreen?
I would put her over 2 times the size.
Okay, pretty
I
big then.
I
Yeah.
would. Yeah, I wouldn't put her 1-to-1 ratio like a
Mhm.
little like a little tree in the backyard kind of thing. This
Yeah.
it she the has it's been around for an incredible amount of time, but there's a sentientness in being of it. Almost a feeling, and you do it here, like she's could like step out of the earth with her roots and move to another place physically, if that's like without like any kind of like quote unquote magic or however it goes about. I also like I'm more attracted to uh, no nose. Like I love the
Yeah.
no nose idea because the moment this nose is here, there's so much like an ethnicity, a
Mhm.
personality to be super specific to
Yeah.
her, where I would like
Okay.
it to
Yeah,
be.
it doesn't give it an
Right,
alien,
right,
otherworldly
like,
factor. Yeah.
right. So there's this like, when there's less, if you had like, um, no ears, like no ears, no nose. Mouth, I think, is kind of interesting. The eye thing, I love. I just think even bigger.
Yeah.
Could be even something played out like you do with this, like almost like a tribal mask in a situation
Yeah.
and stuff. The mouth is obviously a sensual thing,
Yes.
where it becomes something where if one is in pursuit thinking of a woman even being the part of the prize, as they
Right.
Clabert and Weasel talk about. um you know it, it's like a salvation to maybe their them being disappointed if they got
Yeah.
there and they were like, dude, it's not a woman, it's a tree, like what the what the
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But once these elements like the breast and the mouth become in focus, then there becomes this like, oh well, let's see what happens, what I mean. Like it
Yeah.
becomes a whole there's another layer in there. So these are just elements I'm partial to at this point. But the
Yeah.
way you're going about, and the way you do go about design in character as you move through like your Instagram page and stuff, you know yeah, I just think you've got to find something that ultimately makes you feel like, yeah, this is it, this is it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I mean, all those suggestions, I love them. Um, we'll see what we can do with those.
Right. So the title page, just
Mhm.
to reiterate, I had said like this already is really perfect in a lot, because it has the setting, the interior of the maze. It has her, and then there was these like white punched out figures running around, which is it's inside the story, and of course you have the David Molina and Kurt Brugel, as the creators, and then inspired by Joseph Kellum. Now, I'm not worried too much about you having anything to do with this. You are more than welcome to place that in there.
Okay.
I just
Mm.
the only thing is I want to say, like, we can say things like artists and then like writer,
Okay.
like that just to indicate, those two things. You could also put something in there where you're the pencils, I'm the inks,
Mm.
we'll get there.
Yeah.
But I want you to feel like that first instinctual response and providing this is still spot on. I think now you're just going to be dealing with details.
Yeah.
Like, is it this? Is that? Is that? Is it not this? It's, what I mean? You're just going to have to kind of like keep putting things up. Nope. Yep.
Yeah.
That's really all you're going to do. And obviously say Last, Dryad, because it was the original story, so everybody knows, is it's called The Last Druid by Joseph Kellum. And we just decided to make it sound more cooler than The Last Dryad. So.
Right. Another thing, do you like okay, so right here she has a stump, there's no legs, right? So the stump, it's the what do you call
The
that?
torso.
The torso, the base of the tree.
And the hips.
So it's yeah. So what do you think of that? Because on the page you're showing, she has legs. What do you think would be
well, the only
cool,
thing it
more visually
triggers,
cool?
the only thing it triggers is like, so here's Clob hair, right? Here's Doreen.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's immediately the response I have to this image, because of the question you asked in how big she is.
Yeah.
Is tree, because been around, but could get up and move around with a sense of ease and movement, by uprooting and stuff. I do really, really like this. I have to say, the breasts and the mouth, the eyes, when we're dealing with like sexual attraction, like a Venus flytrap, and getting these men to venture off through her maze and then get past the druid himself and then get to her, and then she's able to do the magic that she does to them. The thighs, the pelvis area, these are additional information, but it might be things where we don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
Where we are dealing with this, like the question would be like, great, like I said, this is Clawbear thinking, in a sense, like, great, I was the one that told Doreen the Weasel that, I'm the one that gets the woman, but now how am I going to move this big tree around? You know what I mean? Like, it becomes like a confusing moment for them, which I love. I love confusing characters. I mean, that's really what storytelling is about, right? Conflict and confusion. But I do put the ratio, the aspect ratio between the two elements that they're about breast nipple high. You know what I mean? Like that's what they would end up meeting, because they would have to like literally kind of step on roots to grab.
That's right. To get
right. So then the jewel is there, but then there's this head that's like maybe mobile, kind of searching around,
Yeah.
I love it. The only thing about like this one, these are too human. If I was to give any overwhelming critique and a strategy to be able to create a process of eliminating.
It's necessary.
And I think I know you're on the same page as me, is like you want to create a cool creature.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
I,
that's where you're in the sandbox for, is you're like,
yeah,
I'm gonna create this, this is gonna be my dryad. Like, this
yeah,
is
yeah, exactly.
all credit goes to David Molina.
Well, I mean, we're doing this together, so I think
Oh, of
it's
course, of
both
course.
to both our credits, So
Yeah,
also, do you think she can move her arms as
I do. I
yeah,
do.
okay, okay.
I'm remembering we had also mentioned, I had mentioned sort of the capturing thing,
Hmm.
uh, you know, because I don't want to say anything too much, because this is video 9 of an 9 videos so far, in a playlist with David Molina as the star, and him and I talking about this stuff. So I encourage people to go back and listen to us. Going over this, and bits and back and forth and stuff.
Hmm.
But there was an aspect in conversation about when one of the characters ultimately ends up facing off with the dryad, that there's a sort of like, unbeknownst to the character, the tree branches are coming around, like engulfing, because there's such a mesmerizing, like, what the hell, all this
Oh,
stuff.
that's
But
great, yeah.
right. So, even in design, there's a lot of space behind in the beginning, but by the pages going on, there's a being engulfed
Yeah.
by it, the last dryad, and being
Yeah.
embraced,
Oh, yeah. That's sick. I
you
like
know,
that.
because the whole getting these men, turned into these little creatures
Yeah.
is not specifically told, inferred, but I know we've already spoke to, like, using more visual elements to make that happen than just whack over the head. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Okay, so the title page, right?
yeah.
Um, so um, I started doing some sketches. I didn't send you any. I
Okay.
wasn't happy with any of them, but
Okay.
what's it called? What do you think the elements should be on there? I mean, um, if you were doing a title page, what would your elements, your chosen elements be on there? Would you have a full blown picture of the dryad? I'm gonna say probably not, right?
Well, I I really want to leave that to you. Like,
Okay, I
the
thought you'd say that.
title. This is, well, because you're gonna get kind of like two opportunities, because this will be
Yeah,
part 1, which is something else that we, I got to make sure that we have in there by text, is,
yeah,
one of 2, but the I understand you're saying, like, oh, we wouldn't want to show all of. We are, though, right
mm.
now, so it's like, it's
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
I'm not like I said, I am not that concerned. I
Okay.
would I believe you're in the same ballpark with me. Is like, you want the graphic to be more mysterious in elements,
Mm.
to encourage people, than just, oh, that's a lady. There's a dryad, is a tree, and
Yeah.
like Stonehenge. All right, whatever. Okay, cool. All right, well done, drawn. But if the elements are kind of played around a bit into the abstract,
Right.
um, extreme close up could be interesting.
Mm.
Um, like, I'm already having this, like, I'm not asking this, but if the page was something to, this type of thing, and these eyes are bigger, there could be something in reflection in the eyes,
Yeah.
Doreen and Claver, that type of thing, the sensuality of the mouth,
Yeah.
and then, Last Dryad, David Kurt, Jason Cullum, part 1,
Uh,
2.
so let me see if I can. explain this. Um, like in some like old school Superman comics, or I guess any comic book really. The cover sometimes there's there's like an image that is showing you characters and showing you action, and but those characters and actions don't necessarily happen in the story.
Right.
Where it's kind of like these are the characters that are in the story, but they're in this picture here in the cover, but doesn't necessarily translate to the story, right? When you read the story.
Yeah.
But
Back in
it's
the
just
day.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Back in the day, I have a big issue with it in my own work, which is one of the major reasons the cover is not color. That these characters are all inside the book. It is CROM. There's Skullbiter. That's a sister. It's because I also treat this as like it's more of a manual than me trying to sell you a comic book type of thing. But CROM Anthology is going to have a full color cover and the like. The lying in order to get somebody to grab something off a newsstand was, that's from the 50s on advertising mechanism.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what sells? Pretty girls sell. Okay, well, make sure she's pretty. What else sells? Gorillas in spacesuits. All right, well, let's get, you know what I mean? Like, there's a story where when sales were dropping at DC for books, Julius Short would go on the Gorilla on the Cover campaign. He would immediately, because all of their best books, supposedly up and through the 60s, the best-selling covers had gorillas on them. That was the data that they had in the way of sales that they would use. So that meant they had to get a gorilla on the cover, which also would probably inject some kind of gorilla-ness in the story, you would hope. But maybe not. Maybe not, because all that stuff was being made separate.
Let's throw in a gorilla. Wow, let's throw in a gorilla. Let's throw in two.
Right. Let's do it too. Let's put a gorilla in there. They're playing, hey guys, what happened with the gorilla? I don't know. Got you to buy it, right? That type of mechanism. So I'm way more about like, let's be truer to the content of the story, but at the same time, can we be creatively abstract and enticing enough to obviously have something where people go, what the hell is that? I mean, like that's kind of interesting.
Okay, now I'm really excited about this. So let me see what I can do, and then we'll talk about it again.
Cool. Okay. Now, do you have anything else? Because I can let you go, and we'll get on with our days.
Let's see. No, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So I was that was the only one of the only questions I had was her height compared to the other characters, but that's hashed out. So cool, we can move on.
Nice. Well, the big news is thank you for encouraging your brother John to get on board. So did you get to see his first video?
Yeah, I saw the video.
Good. Yeah, because your ears should have been ringing. Probably even to the point then they might have been bleeding. But so but yeah, now I'm just I'm not gonna push it, but eventually I will. I got to meet this Michael brother now. That's because you and Michael have Flight of the Necromancer is a project that's also in the works that could see the light of day in a future CROM anthology, if not some pieces. But it is also what John and I were talking about, which was, obviously you have a vision for, publishing your own comics, which is the Pariah Comics right now is the moniker, if you will. There's a kind of a doodly cover kind of issue. So just to tease people a little bit more about what's coming down the road is already in the works. David has a lot going on in Creative Juices. His Instagram is the reason he is a part of the CROM, the Barbarian community. He was the first person that I reached out to. Hey, David, would you like to come and play in the Sword and Sorcery sandbox? And
hell yeah!
You sure as hell said yes. And in return, I got this wonderful pinup for an alternative cover, which was a part of the release and everything. Of course, Drawn Sword.
Yeah.
He's working hard and steady. Just had a little quick chat through the emails. He wants to get a couple of pages complete, so then he has something more thoroughly resolved to show off. So that'll be coming soon. I just received 4 pages in the mail of a Ken Landgraf CROM comic. So it is official now. So super excited about that. Adam Dodds, I know I've reached out to him a couple of times, and I think he was on a move and maybe some work kind of things and stuff, but he's been plugging away at his Instagram. Love his doodly gobbly goop. It's almost like I kind of calibrate it to like a Zentangle kind of thing where things I just absolutely love it. And then of course Jason Schoonover and I just got together yesterday, shot a video updating. He has all 7 pages of CROM Dahar penciled.
Nice.
We need some specific character studies and the text, and then I'm going to be able to pick up from there and actually start inking very soon. I have actually started inking, so pages are getting hammered out. This is one of the first of my story contributions, which is called CROM Daring, which is based on a 1940s comic from Canada called Dart Daring, and I just really love the way that this comic was laid out and the story kind of context, but I've rewritten it. And of course, I've kind of really pushed this character, the Dart version character to a more CROM character, but he's still in his youth. And this is also what I'm calling his Robert Plant phase. So there'll be some things going on there. So just as an update for the CROM Anthology, things are moving along. We just passed the soft end of January deadline, which everybody's doing well on. We have a lot of people who are now just recently this year in the month of January 2025 getting on board. So things are happening. There's a lot of videos that are slowly popping up as I edit them and post them to the community on cromthebarbarian.com. But the idea is to get all the materials from collaborators that I need, basically for inking and structural to story by the end of February. But like I said, everybody's looking like they're going to be on point, because I'm going to take then March and April to just really sit down and start hammering on my duties, the physical art nature, to get a proof done by May. So some individuals, David is one of those individuals who would receive a proof copy. So then we would be able to sit down and David can say, "What the hell were you thinking, Kurt? Why would you ink it that way?" So, we have that, there. And also have a little bit of a sneak peek. I'm probably not going to put every page of what will be in there, because I even want the contributors to be pleasantly surprised when the official is there and completed. So, but other than that, do you have anything for these good people, David, before we let them go get back to reading comics?
Yeah,
making enough issues. Always love hanging out with you. Can't wait to do it again, because we'll have probably 3 more pages by next time I get together with you. All right. Well, we're going to let you get going, David, and we will see you. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Kurt. You take care.
Hold tight.